Hey everybody, it's your girl Carla Renata, aka the Curvy Film Critic. This is episode 196. We're 4 away from 200, so make sure you tune in about 4 weeks for the 200th episode of the Curvy Critic with Carla Renata. And of course, I am your host, Carla Renata. If this is your first time joining me, please give me a big old thumbs up to let me know you were here. Click that bell for notifications if you are on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. Baby, I got a jam-packed show for you, and I got a special guest that I can't wait to talk to. But you know how I do it, and you know how I roll. I always talk about what I did the week before, and then I talk about what's coming up. And then if I have guests live or taped, I will roll those too. So here we go. Happy Martin Luther King birthday. If Martin Luther King had lived, he was assassinated when he was 39. But if he had lived, he would be 93 years old today. So happy birthday, Dr. King. I'm happy that I have this opportunity to have a podcast because the work that Dr. King and everyone in the civil rights movement, the work that they did allows me to be able to have this opportunity, and I'm eternally grateful. We talked a little bit about Betty White last week. She would have been 100 years old today, and there's a bunch of things that are happening with her in conjunction with her 100th birthday. So the Cincinnati Zoo is named a newborn penguin. That's so cute. In her honor, calling the penguin Blue Penguin Chick Rose after her character on Golden Girls. Bernadette Peters, who is a Tony Award winning actress on Broadway, has this thing called Broadway Barks, and she's asking folks in the hashtag Betty White Challenge to donate to Broadway Barks. Funds raised will be distributed amongst their network of 40 plus animal shelters and rescue groups. And they are having a one night only screening that is sponsored by Fathom Events. It is a documentary, Betty White, A Celebration. So if you a Betty White fan, honey, if you love you some Golden Girls and some Mary Tyler Moore show, then go get your Betty White celebration on. We're also having the Celebration of Black Cinema is airing at the latter part of this month in a couple of weeks. I talked about that a few weeks ago where we honor Halle Berry, we honor Will Smith, we honor a bunch of people. And this is a celebration that's put on in conjunction with the Critics' Choice Association, of which I am a member. The AFCA Awards announced their winners today, and that announcement, well, not that announcement, but all of those winners will be celebrated on March 2nd. I'm just going to run down who the winners are real fast so that y'all know. Best Picture is The Harder They Fall, along with Best Director for that same film. Don't Look Up from Amazon Video has been given Best Screenplay. Will Smith won Best Actor. Jennifer Hudson won Best Actress. Best Supporting Actor is Corey Hawkins for The Tragedy of Macbeth. My girl Angie Ellis is Best Supporting Actress for King Richard. Breakthrough Actor is Sanaya Sidney from King Richard. Best Ensemble is The Harder They Fall. Emerging Director is Ronaldo Marcus Green for King Richard. Best Music is The Harder They Fall, which was written by James Samuel, the director, Kid Cudi, and Jay-Z. Best Independent Feature is a documentary I've talked about here called Who We Are, Chronicles of Racism in America. Summer of Soul was Best Documentary. And those winners are going to be announced, and they were voted upon through the 90 plus members of AFCA. So that's happening on March 2nd in Los Angeles at the SLS Hotel. I did a little piece for The List TV. It's called Women of Color in the Oscar Race. So that'll be coming up soon. So look for that on all your social media, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, all that jazz. It'll be up in all those places. And I did a Scream piece for them too, in conjunction with Scream being released this week. So check that out. And yeah, so that's what I did last week. And that is what is going on in Carla Renata's world. But we about to talk about what's going on in somebody's world that I just love, because she got so much energy and she is just lovely. She plays, excuse me. She plays Angie in the Amazon Prime Video series Harlem, along with Megan Good and some other divas. And I just love her. So we're going to bring her to the stage, honey. Her name is Shaniqua Shandai. What's up, my sister?
Hey! Oh, this is such a pleasure. I
Oh,
love
look, you done
it.
got a little crown on for me. Look at
You
you.
got
You
a little
switched up on
wardrobe.
me real quick.
I wasn't ready for the queen, the curvy critic.
You are hilarious. I love you for it. So let's talk about Angie for those who don't know. Tell the people who Angie is and what her shenanigans are on Harlem.
Angie is, honey, she has taught me so much about life and self love. She is vivacious, unrelenting. I call her a mirror. Like, you cannot be around Angie and not get the real of who you are because her
Uh-huh.
truth is so self evident. She has to report the truth back to you. She is an out of work artist, and I understood that struggle very well, like the sleeping on a friend's couch and being 30 and having this dream and this purpose and this vision for your life and have always had it, and then all of a sudden you over 30 and what you vision for yourself is not exactly here. So she's going through a little bit of a age crisis or an identity crisis in a sense, but still very much holding on to who she is and treating herself like a diva, whether she got the means or not,
I
which is what.
love that. I love that. And you know what else I loved about Angie is that Angie's curvy. She is
Yes,
curvy like the curvy critic. And this is what I'm really loving.
unapologetically curvy. Okay.
Yes. I'm loving that she is curvy and she's representing for that sector of women because the 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 age that we're living in right now, we're seeing a lot more women who are not a size two. Because there was a time where you turned on TV and folk looked like they needed a sandwich. I'm just saying.
Okay, just like a hunger, you can feel the hunger coming off the screen. I'm like, somebody need a snack break. I just like you said though, it's just so important to be in this era where we get to see genuine people, where representation is alive and well. And I look at this show specifically, and I know that like as an audience member, as a my younger self, younger Shaniqua needed to see this curvy, dark-skinned woman on screen who is treating herself luxuriously and demanding that everyone else do the same, because that's not something that I was able to see at all either. You know, you see a curvy woman on screen and they hop in after whatever remnants of life that they can get, or they're in support of someone else's story. I'm there just to be the laugh for you. So I love to see this, like you said, this full-size woman having her own life, love, dreams, getting romanced on in Chanel boots, you know?
Okay, that part.
In
Living in fashion. Living. Let's
yeah.
talk about that since you brought that up. You know, fashion. Even fashion for curvy women has taken a little turn. It's becoming a little more accessible. Like I remember a few years back, Leslie Jones was on Twitter,
Yeah.
um, distraught, and I remember Melissa McCarthy being on Twitter distraught over the fact
Mhm.
that when the award season rolled around and they reached out to
Don't feel
designers, the designers were like turning their nose up to my, we don't have nothing your size. And this is what's funny about all of that.
Come on.
So Marilyn Monroe, who is a huge iconic,
Mhm.
Hollywood star,
Mhm.
Marilyn Monroe was a size 12.
Come on.
I'm like,
Yeah.
did people
She's a
forget that Marilyn Monroe was a size 12? Wasn't
same
nobody
with
calling her fat?
Nicole Smith. She was curvy.
Anna
But
Nicole Smith, right.
you
Wasn't
know,
nobody calling them fat. I'm
at
just
all.
saying.
And then it's the same thing too, that like the places that they are getting this fashion inspiration from is us. We
Yes,
we are the church hats. We are the luxury. You know what I mean? We bring the fashion, the things that everyone is now benefiting from. It comes from us, and yet they don't allow us in the space. They don't allow us a seat at the table, and that's why I'm so grateful, like you said, to like now have these brands that are taking in, like having a bigger spectrum. Because for me, I never really understood why there was a plus size and a regular size anyway. I'm like, if you make clothes, you make clothes for human beings. So why
that
is it that
part.
a certain size and you don't make clothes for humanity no more? So only people past a certain age can't wear your stuff. That's fine. We'll make our own seat. We'll create our own shows and our own fashion luxury brands that will cater to all sizes. And that's what I really want to do with like my body, is just to like open the door and have this body be a form of activism and just say, let us have a seat at the luxury table. because we create it anyway. Y'all steal it from us anyway.
You better speak on it. But let's give Christian Siriano a shout out, because
Yeah.
not only did Christian Siriano reach out to Leslie Jones when she was having her little fashion emergency, but
Mhm.
he also dressed Danielle Brooks for her wedding. He
Yeah.
designed
And
a
it was
beautiful gown for her wedding and her
stunning.
reception. So
Yeah.
let's give him some snaps and claps, because Christian
Let him
Siriano is down for the curvy girls,
okay.
so we got
Yeah.
to give him a shout out. I want to talk a little bit. And so, if you weren't talented enough, you got Personality Plus, you got a hit series, and now you're singing.
And
You're
then
singing, and you got music videos. And the
I'm
music video is directed by your friend Megan Good. Talk to me about this single that's dropping this year.
honey, I am ecstatic. I started writing this song like maybe 3 years ago. And I've been writing music forever. It's just honestly like been my way of therapy. Before I could afford a therapist, I just sit with my journal and write a song and talk to my Dr. Phil, my Dr. Journal. And so but yeah, I'm just so excited. It's called Something About You. It's an R&B cut, and it's just about this woman who is about her business, who just never really prioritized love. I've always been like about this and that, and then you encounter this person that changes your mind on what you thought was available for you. And so it's something about you. And we're creating this new leading lady in this video. I think it's very important to see curvy bodies again in luxury, getting loved on, and happiness and joy. We don't, to me, I feel like curvy bodies have always been associated with pain or history. Like it's like, okay, we're gonna teach you a history documentary movie, or we're gonna show you some pain with this curvy body. And so it'd be nice to show this curvy body just living, just be a human being a woman, being loved on, and being a fairy tale. Why not a new face of a fairy tale dream?
I love that. Because I also love that they had in last year at some point they did a remake of Cinderella, and they had Camila Cabello being Cinderella, and I was like,
Mhm.
okay, okay, all right,
Mhm.
So I was kind of down for that. But you're right, when someone thinks of curvy, they automatically go to the mindset of that person's not attractive, that person can't be loved upon, that person isn't valued in society, and that isn't necessarily true.
No.
There's a young lady, I'm in Arkansas doing Designing Women, and there's a young lady that is in the show with me that she's Zoftic. She's quite Zoftic.
What is Zofted?
Zoftic is heavy, is
Oh,
curvy, and
okay.
full figured and all that.
Oh, I like that. I mean,
But she's very Zoftic, and she is proud and happy and pleased with herself, and
Mhm.
she lives in that body and lives her best life. I am not mad at her, but
Yeah.
I had never met somebody that was her size, that was comfortable. And
Mhm.
that's been an education for me. Most women that I meet that are that size, they're very insecure about that size. They don't want to be
Apologizing
that
for it.
size.
Mhm.
This doll is like, bump you. I love the way I look. And if you got a problem with it, then that's your problem. It's not mine.
Yeah. And it's just like such a identity, like a mind warp they've done on the society period, because most people are over a size 8 anyway.
This
Like,
is true.
the world looks more like you said, that Zoftic woman, than they look like Kate Moss.
This
But
is true.
and cinema and music even would have you reflecting and thinking that the world, everyone's a model thin. So I really think it's time to just normalize, like you said, just normalize being comfortable in your skin. And so that's how I really
Absolutely.
love to use the imagery, every imagery that I'm in charge of creating. I would love it just to be adding beautiful confidence to the bucket, because the world is already telling us something else. I just want to add to the beauty, like you said, and to the confidence, so that we can just be normal people and not just, road attractions or supporting roles or a
You
joke.
said road attractions.
That's what they were trying to make us in. They throw a curvy body in some zebra print and said make her and do a quick joke, and we just here for the quick boom, and we're out.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong about anything that you said, but it's
Okay,
the way to
so
keep saying it that is making me holler.
we
That
here
part. But,
Yes.
but, but before I let you get up out of here, there's two things I want to talk to you about. What is the most productive move that you made in 2021?
Ooh. Okay. The most productive move I think I made in 2021 was changing the way I handled my losses. I
Mm,
think the most productive thing that I could do was change the way that I talk to me. And I think it's like using all that encouragement I use for other people and pointing it back at myself. I think that helped nurture myself and it helps
hmm
fuel me so that I'm ready to run even further to the next thing. So if I have one day where I didn't conquer as many goals as I would have back in the day, I'd be like, come on, girl, get it together. No, oh no, Jesus bless her. Touch her, Lord. All of it. We got, get it, Jesus, Jesus. Virtual pets. They, we good. We recover. But see, it's about the recovery. That's it right there. Oh no.
I'm good.
You're good. You're good. But yes, I think that's the wisest or the best productive move I could have done was like changing my recovery time, just being kinder to me if I don't live up to the expectation or if I
Mhm.
don't reach, being nicer to me, and then I'm fueled to go even further.
Cool. And my voice went away now that I didn't cough my lungs up.
And look, it's good and refreshed now.
It was like some dust or something got in my throat. But anyway, um, and then we're celebrating Martin Luther King's birthday.
Yes.
I just want to say that I love the fact that you are here celebrating with me, celebrating women, celebrating curvy bodies
Mm.
on a day that's celebrating a man who is all about change.
Yes. Yes.
So I want to thank you for being here. I want
Thank
to
you.
thank you for putting up with my cough fit.
Yes.
Because that was funny. All jokes aside. And I want to wish you much, much continued success on Harlem.
Thank you.
I want to let me know when your single drops so I can give you a shout out on social media.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yes, Miss Shaniqua, I got you. We got to support each other. That's what we do.
Yes, ma'am. It's true.
That's what we do. So we will support each other. But until the next time, my dear, you have a wonderful week.
Thank you. You too.
Enjoy the rest of this glorious holiday.
Yes.
And I will see and speak to you real soon.
Thank you. Happy MLK Day.
Happy MLK Day. Bye, baby. Wow. Oh my goodness. I had a coughing fit. That was terrible. It was like some kind of dust particle got in my throat and it would not leave me alone. It was terrible. Okay. Moving on. So I want to welcome Brandon and Kenneth to the chat room. Y'all are always here, tried and blue. Love you for it. All right. Now, since I talked about MLK Day, I want to talk about 5 movies that I would watch if I were celebrating Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Day. So the first one is this film called King in the Wilderness, and it's a documentary. Oh man, my throat is messing with me, y'all. It's messing with me. I don't know what to say about it. It's just messing with me. But okay, let me find my notes on that one because I got some notes for y'all. Here we go. All right, so King in the Wilderness. It was a documentary that dropped in 2018. It's directed by Peter Cumhart, and it made its debut at the Sundance Film Festival that same year. This documentary does not aim to present a glorified perception of Dr. King by no stretch of the imagination. It instead highlights his other misunderstood commitments and his what do I want to say? His often misunderstood commitment to nonviolence, because people didn't really understand what his whole commitment to nonviolence and living that way of life was about, especially as it was associated with people of color. So that's basically the gist of this documentary. And it candidly shows how Dr. King was perceived by both the leaders of the Black Power movement and President Lyndon B. Johnson. So you can watch that on HBO right now. The next one is a documentary called I Am MLK. It also dropped in 2018. It's a feature documentary that examines the character of Dr. King, and it features interviews with the late Congressman John Lewis, Ambassador Andrew Young, CNN's Van Jones, Reverend Al Sharpton, civil rights activist Diane Nash, and so many more. It's set in the churches that King preached in, and is a compilation of interviews that provides a very vast spectrum of perspectives on why the legacy of Dr. King has been established and is still so relevant today. Now, that one you can buy or rent it on Amazon Prime Video. The next one is Selma, the Ava DuVernay directed film that dropped in 2014. It was a huge success and won a NAACP Image Award for Outstanding Motion Picture, among other awards. And it dealt with the whole march in Selma, from Selma to Montgomery. It was dramatized. Oprah Winfrey was in that movie. Coleman Domingo was in that movie. Niecy Nash, and it was led by David Oyelowo, who played Dr. King. And that one you can also rent or buy on Amazon Prime. The next one is a documentary that I love, because this is a documentary that deals with a subject with Dr. King that we never seen before. It's called MLK FBI. It dropped in 2021. It's directed by Sam Pollard. And it centers very heavily on the newly declassified files from Martin Luther King's life that the FBI kept. J. Edgar Hoover was dogmatic about keeping tabs on Dr. King. So it deals with all of those declassified files, and it's discussed at length. And it's very interesting. I highly suggest taking a look at it. That you can also buy on Amazon Prime Video and or rent it. And last but not least, this is an oldie but a goodie, but Eyes on the Prize, y'all, the PBS docuseries. It's a long one. It's narrated by Julian Bond, and it's a 14-part documentary that centers on the civil rights movement. The first episode is in 1987, and then it goes backwards from there. It deals with the march in Selma. It deals with Brown versus the Board of Education, and so much more. So I highly suggest checking that one out. You can get that on Amazon Prime Video, and you can buy it or rent it there as well. No, you can just buy it. You can't rent it. You can buy it. So I wanted to talk about that. So this week on January 20th, we get to do the Sundance Film Festival all over again. Now, y'all, I have not been to the Sundance Festival. This will be the second year in a row that we have physically not gone, because COVID is living that thug life and preventing people from going to the mountain, from going to the mountaintop. So it's going to be done virtually. And that was actually a decision that was made at the last minute. They hadn't planned on doing that. And then at the very last minute, they decided that they were going to make it virtual. But there's a couple of films that are on my list to see. So one of them is a film that stars Regina Hall called Master. And it's like, it's, and it's kind of like a horror film, but it kind of deals with, it focuses, it's like a, it focuses on three women who are trying to fit in an elite New England university, is what it is. And that's all I'm going to tell you, because I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but it does star Regina Hall, Zoe Renee, and Talia Ryder as the central cast members. I cannot wait to see it. It's going to premiere on January 21st, and it streams on January 23rd and 24th. Now, if you do not have a pass to the Sundance Film Festival, because it is streaming virtually, you may still be able to grab some tickets to the festival virtually. So go to sundance.org and you can check that out and get some tickets there. Alice is another film that I want to see. It stars Keke Palmer. I just love Keke Palmer because Keke Palmer just stretches it within an inch of his life. So on a plantation in Georgia, Alice is forced to toil away alongside fellow slaves. When she manages to run away, our hero emerges from the woods to find cars whizzing by on a bustling highway, and now it is 1973. That's all I'm going to say about it. But I can't wait for y'all to see it because it just sounds really, really interesting. Another film that's dropping is a film called 892. It stars Oscar winner John Boyega, and it is directed by Abby Damaris. It's based on a true story of this man who he was a homeless veteran having some mental problems, and he was upset that the VA, he felt like the VA had stolen some of his money from his bank account, and he all he wanted was his money back. And so he went to the bank to force the bank into calling the VA to get them to put the money back in his account, and shenanigans ensue. But this is a true story. It's a true story, and it's intense. It's a really intense film. People are going to enjoy it, and people are going to see a side of John Boyega that they have not seen before. It is highly suggested that you check it out. All right, so now another one. Regina Hall is jamming, y'all. She got 2 films at Sundance. This time, she's in a film with Sterling Brown, and it's called Hunk for Jesus to Save Your Soul. I just like the title. So this is a film, it's a satire on organized religion in which the wife of a megachurch pastor attempts to build their flock back up after a scandal scatters the congregation to the 4 winds. That's all I'm going to say about it, because I just think that's really interesting. And I love Sterling K. Brown because he's my homie from St. Louis. And I love Regina Hall because, as I've said about her numerous times on this program, she is one of those talents that is grossly overlooked. She's immensely gifted, immensely talented, with an amazing acting range. And now I'm so happy that people are getting to see that. You know, a couple of years ago, she won the New York Film Critics Award for Best Actress, and I'm just happy to see her finally getting her due. And I had to keep this one for last. Last but not least, we got our boy Kanye. Child, he just can't sit down and be quiet, can he? I'm like, boy, go get a Coke and a Snickers and go sit in the corner somewhere. But anyway, he has a documentary called Genius. It's a trilogy. And I'm just like, okay, that's all I'm going to say. I'm not even going to give you a description of that. Just know that Kanye West got a film at Sundance called Genius. And it's not spelled Genius. It's spelled Jeenyuhs. So that's what's happening coming up on the Sundance Film Festival. Now, I want to talk about 2 films that I saw. I had an opportunity to see. One is Hotel Transylvania, Transformania. And I know Brandon's going to love that because he always loves when I talk about the animated joints. And I love Hotel Transformania, but y'all, I was not excited about this one. I like the first 3. Like Brandon said that he likes the first 3, and I like the first 3 too. But this one just felt a little it felt a little stale, for lack of a better way to say it. And I love this franchise. I do. I love this franchise so much. It's by Sony Pictures. It's streaming on Amazon Prime Video right now. But it basically has, is taking place on an anniversary. Dracula has decided he's going to give the hotel to his daughter and his son-in-law, begrudgingly to his son-in-law. And then some shenanigans ensue in which the son-in-law and Dracula end up changing places. So the son-in-law ends up being a monster and Dracula ends up being human. That's the gist of it. I was not excited. I was not excited. It was fun. Like, I love animated joints because they're always fun and light and fluffy. And, the score is cute because, they're singing, these pop songs that are in a situation that you normally wouldn't see them in. But yeah, for the most part, I was like, I don't know about this. But check it out for yourself. It is streaming on Amazon Prime Video right now. Now, the Scream franchise, Scream 5, it has come out. And I sent my little brother. Y'all remember my brother came on here a little while ago to do the podcast with me last year during Sundance. So this year he didn't do a Sundance joint for me, but he did go to see Scream. So this is what he said. I asked him to give me 3 things that he liked and 3 things that he didn't like. And my brother's name is Jeffrey, so if you want to know. All right, so the 3 things that he said he liked how the script used industry terms to describe the movie. They used terms like requel to demonstrate the difference between sequels and reboot, which is actually kind of funny. He loves the plot twist at the end, which wasn't expected at all, in his opinion. And he said that the story included new technology that was missing since Scream 2, things like automated homes, cell phone devices, smart homes, um, caller ID boxes from, from the Scream 2, like, as opposed to like caller ID boxes from Scream 2. It was updated from a technology standpoint to reflect how we live today, which I peeped that too. And that was actually a really good note. And he said he likes how they brought back previous characters that were not killed in previous reboots, because there's like 4 different versions of it. Now, this is what he said he didn't like. He didn't like the fact that they have that in over 5 movies, let me read this right. They have never in over 5 movies used a person of color to be the serial killer. Matter of fact, Cuba Gooding's son was too biracial for me. When I read that, I laughed. I was like, because only my brother would say something crazy like that. Then he said, when a person got attacked, they didn't yell or scream for help when it was a house full of people there. Yeah, Jeffrey, but that's why it's called Scream. That's why it's a spoof on scary movies. Like, let's be real. When there are white people in scary movies, they don't never scream or ask for nobody in the house. That's why they always get killed. I'm just saying, if Scream had been a movie full of black people, there would be no movie, because the minute they heard a noise, they'd be like gone like the wind. For real though, that part. And then he also said that he he didn't like how they Patrick Swayze Skeet Ulrich's character with a terrible CGI as a ghost. So my brother has a mixed review on Scream. I went back and I watched the other 4 in preparation for this today. And I have to say, I really like the first and the second one. I don't know how I feel about the third and the fourth one. And my brother has a mixed review on the 5th one. So at some point I'll see it, if it's streaming or something, because I'm not in a place where I can see it right now. And then I will, let you know how I feel about that when I see it. But that is my opinion, my brother's opinion and review of Scream. And I've told you what I feel about Hotel Transylvania Transformia. So we got like a little mixed review action on the Curvy Critic with Carla Renata. That's unusual for me, because I usually like everything, but now I'm kind of like, I don't know. But I'll support y'all anyway, because I do like animation and I do like spoof movies. So I will support Scream and Hotel Transylvania anyway. But yeah, I feel like they both kind of missed the mark this time. But it don't matter, because Scream made more money than any film this year, as opposed to there was a Spider-Man and Scream made the most movies this year, because people were still going to the movie theater. So somebody likes it, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. As long as somebody is creating art that someone likes, it's all good in the hood with me. But hold up, wait a minute, before I get up out of here, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Sundance, because Sundance goes from the 20th of January until the 30th of January. And so there's going to be a lot more films to talk about other than the 4 that I mentioned today. I would have seen a whole lot more. I would have published a whole lot more reviews. I've got that thing dropping for the Oscars for the List TV. So be on the lookout for that. And I may have, a few people pop up in here from time to time between now and next week. We don't know. I'll let you know when I know. But until the next time, y'all, thank you so much for joining me for episode 196 of The Curvy Critic with Carla Renata. Thank you so much, Brandon. Thank you so much, Kenneth Williams. Y'all are the bomb.com. Y'all always come through for a sister. I appreciate you. If this is your first time joining me, please give me a big thumbs up. Click that bell for notifications and subscribe to the channel if you are on the YouTube. And so wash your hands, get that K95 mask. Make sure that you are safe and sound and doing your thing. And I will see you on the flip side. Love, peace, and hair grease, y'all. Deuces.